was hit hard. He'll live. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over.
Where you go? Where you go?
Withdraw your men.
Say again, Grim.
I'm going in. My turn.
What's going on?
What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You forgot this. The data key on your jugular.
You were saying?
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?
Welcome, operators. The time has come. Ubisoft has teamed up with the Esports Club to create a comprehensive esports ecosystem in South Asia for Tom-Clancys-Rainbow-Six-Siege. Over the course of the year, players from all over the region will have the opportunity to partake in events as they work to earn a spot in the brand new South Asian Nationals. The South Asian competitive ecosystem will consist of two stages, the TEC Pro Series and the main event that is the South Asia Nationals. Players and teams from across South Asia will join in a new set of events called the Esports Club Pro Series for Rainbow-Six-Siege. These events will have 3 editions: spring, summer, and fall. Each carries its own prize pool of $2,000, but more importantly, grants the top 8 teams coveted SA Nationals qualifier points. After the conclusion of the TEC Pro Series Fall Edition, the 8 teams with the highest number of SA Nationals qualifier points collected throughout the year will move on to play the first ever edition of the new South Asia Nationals for Rainbow-Six-Siege. The South Asia Nationals represents the highest tier of competition in the region and carries a prize pool of $10,000 split among the top teams. The event will be divided into 2 phases. First, all 8 teams will compete against each other in the league stage in a round-robin system with best of 3 matches and no possibility of a draw. The winning team receives 2 points and the losing team will receive 1 consolation point if they manage to win a map. At the end of the league stage, the top 4 teams will move on to the playoffs, where they will face off in a best-of-3 double elimination bracket. The grand finals will be a best-of-5 contest to determine the 2022 champion of the South Asia Nationals. We hope you're as excited as we are to get this started. To be sure you don't miss any important updates about Rainbow Six Esports in South Asia, follow the Esports Club on Instagram and Twitter, as well as the official Twitter handle R6 Esports SA. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Nationals. It's been a hot minute since we've been back with a match as exciting as this. This is, of course, match number 2 of day 12 of the Nationals itself, folks. You know the drill by now. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is, of course, my co-host, Aggressive. We are here for probably one of the biggest games of the group stages. Hunters LFO will be taking on Shaheens very, very shortly indeed. Aggressive. How do we feel about this one?
Honestly, I'm stoked. First of all, yeah, a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, these teams have already qualified. What are we really talking about here? One thing in particular, the seeding. Now, the seeding matters a lot as you're heading on down over into players, because you got to remember the first 2 teams in the first and second position will have the first seed, and the third and fourth positions will have second seed. The first seed will always go up against the teams that are in the second seed. So in a way, that should be an easier matchup for you at the end of the day. So Shaheens, they need to get themselves into the top 2. They do not want to be at the bottom half where they could just possibly get put up against the Hunters again, where it could be a tough matchup depending on the maps that have been picked up. The Hunters and the Shaheens, arguably now they are the best teams in the entire region after what we have seen from them coming out of the fall edition. And if they want a big chunk of this prize pool, the 5,000 USD, the first place prize, and of course second place also pretty hefty at 3,000, they got to make sure they have every advantage heading on over onto the playoffs. But yeah, because of course you have some second chances in the playoffs with the lower brackets, but do you really want to be there? Of course not.
And that's, of course, the main thing that these teams will be focusing on right now. Of course, third place, podium position, as it were, gets $1,000 of their own. And then, of course, the remaining is distributed between fourth and eighth. The teams, well, fourth place, of course, still makes it into the top 4. And fifth and onwards gets 250 and below. Of course, the MVP of the tournament gets $500 as well. So there's an incentive for the players of the 8 teams in this top 8, for all of them to perform at their absolute best. As you can see, folks, the top 8 teams, of course, some are going to be filtered out and some are going to be proceeding forward by the end of this weekend. And pretty much by Monday night, we will know who the top 4 is. So let's look at the matches that we are having right now. And of course, as you will see on the right side, bottom right of the table here, Hunters versus Shaheens, 29th October. This is the game that we've been looking forward to for a while now. Pretty much a grudge match between these 2 teams after Hunters lost the best-of-5 grand finals to the Shaheens 0-3. Didn't even take a map. Shaheens had an absolutely dominating performance on that game. So we'll have to see how Hunters retaliate as they face their rivals once again.
Shaheens really are a team that just came out of absolutely nowhere. Before, we always talked about the Shaheens being there, not being there. They were not really hitting the mark that we wanted them to in the past. That'll be in the summer, that'll be in the first ever Pro Series that we had at the very start of the year. The team just wasn't as optimum in a lot of the ways that they were playing. But now, when it came down to the fall edition, the team just came together in such a beautiful fashion, and they're carrying forward that momentum all the way to the Nationals. That's very difficult to do. Normally, a team have a completely different performance at the very start, and then they come to the big stage where you get the jitters. You know for a fact that you're facing off against the best of the best in the region, and that you can't make a lot of mistakes, because if you make a couple of mistakes, then you're just done for. But for the Shaheens, they're not missing a single beat here. Each and every game that they played, they haven't dropped a single map to any of these teams.
Boy.
But maybe going up against the Hunters, it could just happen.
We'll have to wait and see.
All
Of course,
puns intended.
All puns intended. Yes, absolutely. But Hunters going 4-4 as well for their matches. No maps dropped yet. Same for the Shaheens, 5-5, and without a single map lost. 10 points to them. Of course, KIRA Esports going second because they've lost a map, lost a couple of matches actually, and they are still at 10 points, of course, because they've won one map. At the very least, it was 1-2, 1-2, the matches that they have lost. That's why they're at 10 points. The only two teams, Shaheens and KIRA, to hit double digits so far. Hunters could be the third team to get to that spot. But of course, it's going to be a fight and a half for them to get there. Currently sitting at 8th position. They've had a long break among some other things that they have had to go and deal with in the meanwhile. They are back. Of course, Mercenary sitting in third position, 9 points, pretty much confirmed to be in the top 4 at the moment, as Won't Stop Peaking, Team UWU, Phalanx, and Militants, unfortunately, not quite standing up to the mark that they would have loved to. Won't Stop Peaking arguably coming the closest out of all the teams in the bottom 4. 6 points to them in 3 games, but just not quite able to seal the deal on several of those matches and maps, more importantly, where they should have been able to win the game in, just all out, but not quite able to. Team UWU, just the rockiest possible start for them. I believe they were, 0 points going into their third game as well. And it was very rough for them. UWU. They've won their last 2 games now. Of course, that has helped. Militants only winning 1 game in the meanwhile. Just not the greatest performance from them, all things considered. Phalanx as well, they won't be too happy with how they've performed in the tournament. But that is, of course, still there are still some good things for them to talk about. Individual performances, some matches and maps which went really, really well for them. So, Phalanx and Won't Stop Peaking, we would like to see them back in future matches in the Siege. But of course, the top 4 right now, more importantly, the 2 teams that will be in our focus tonight, folks, like we said time and time again, Hunters, Shaheens, they'll be taking each other on, and they will be giving it their absolute all here. Because like Aggressor said, seeding matters. And the team that gets into the top position, the number 1 position, yep, it matters a lot indeed. The team that gets into the top position, number 1, will be facing the 4th place team in the top 4 playoffs position, and second and third will be duking it out in the second game. From there, of course, we will have a couple teams moving forward into upper bracket semifinal, and there will, of course, be a lower bracket semifinal as well, based on who loses those games, moving into the BO5 Grand Finals. But we'll talk about that later on. Let's go into the map veto, see what maps these teams have picked. These 2 titans of South Asia, and honestly, who are we kidding? We expected this to some degree. Oregon, Clubhouse, and Villa, the SA Classic.
It's pretty much the guarantee. Come on, 2 of the best teams in the entire region. Are they really going to be picking stuff like Cafe, Bank, Theme Park? No, of course not. They're going to take us to the good old classic, because this is now an SAL Classical when it comes down to Siege. Come on. Shaheens versus Hunters. Before, it was MercenarieZ going up against Hunters, but due to the different changes that Mercenary had when it came down to the roster, they're not the same team when it comes down to their play level, but they're getting there. They're getting back to the groove again, and hopefully they're going to be able to shine like they did in the past. But before, it was the top 2 teams. Now there are top 3. Shaheens, they're going to make sure to leave a mark right off the bat on the first initial map. But looking at the maps that Shaheen has picked up, Oregon, I don't like the idea behind this. I'm kind of worried here, Jack, because Shaheen's picked up Oregon against the best foundational and fundamentally built team in the entire region. Now, that could just backfire on them in more ways than one.
It really could. It really could. Oregon is a map that every team in this region knows very, very well, especially a team like the Hunters. Sure, Hunters are specialized maps, right? Like Skyscraper, like Bank, like Theme Park. And they love to bring those out every now and again, but tonight they themselves are going to be bringing out Clubhouse. Now, Clubhouse, of course, against the Shaheens is still a pretty all-right bet. Shaheens have been a little hit or miss on that map as of recently. And of course, Villa as well, so defender-sided. Shaheens, I remember, they had such a long game on that map a few nights ago. Quite a few nights ago, all things considered. But that Oregon, the one that we'll be seeing first, that's the one that we want to kind of talk about right now, right? Because Oregon, much like Clubhouse, is a map that is built on the foundations of Siege, right? Holding your cross angles, waiting for the attackers to come to you, getting your hard breach done on time with your supports in their proper place, getting your roam clear done before everything else. The basics of Rainbow Six competitive are steeped in Oregon and Clubhouse. Probably
True.
even more so on Oregon. Because Clubhouse, you can still go for alt strats. You can bring in operators like the Osa. If you have Thatcher available, you can bring him in. On defense, Azami has become a mainstay now because of how malleable Clubhouse strategies are. But Oregon
True.
isn't quite the same way. Oregon basement, yes, very malleable. But the rest of the sites, not so much. You need set strategies and you need to believe in your strats to win on those maps. You need to believe in your fundamentals and you need to commit to them. And of course, Hunters, as we all know, they don't just believe in their fundamentals, folks, they
They're
thrive
built on
in
it.
them. They're built on it, absolutely. As I would say, if CCV were here, when it comes to fundamentals, Hunters are constructed alternatively, and that is, of course, what we might be seeing. Again, might be. Let's not get our hopes up too far, because we know the Hunters as well. Sometimes they take a good moment to start up, which can lead to lost maps before they can swing things around. Of course, it's not quite like the Mercenaries, who have, as of recently, taken probably the longest time I've seen them take to actually wake up in a given match, BO3 especially.
True.
So Mercenaries' performance is left a bit to be desired. If anything, that is what I was meaning to say there. And if Hunters still somehow win a 2-0 here tonight, I'm not saying they will. In fact, the most likely chance is that we go to map 3. But if Hunters win a 2-0 somehow on this match tonight, they will pretty much be reclaiming that top spot, because now Shaheens have lost a game. Hunters remain the only unbeaten team in the entire tournament. And after recent events and the long break that they've had in the middle, oh, you can bet that they will be wanting to keep that unbeaten streak going. So we'll have to just wait and see, folks, how they respond to their current situation. Again, the only team in the top 4, other than Mercenaries, who has not made double digits in terms of their points yet. So Hunter still got a good amount of things to play for, and if they manage to take and stay at first position going into playoffs, then they might get a very, very good match as well going into top 4. It could be Mercenaries, it could be KIRA Esports, depending on who stays in that 4th position. And of course, once that match comes to fruition, we will see what the top 4 will look like. But again, like I said, we've got a couple more nights to go of group stage matches after tonight as well. Tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, day after, there are 4 more matches to go, folks. So not long left before the playoffs. And once we get into playoffs, well then, expect some of the longest games you've probably seen in the entire group stages, filled with clutches, aces, and the like. Fantastic play from all teams, as we have come to expect from the best of the best in the South Asian region. Hunters versus Shaheens is going to be, at the very least in some sense, a show of what these two teams have to give us in terms of entertainment, in terms of skill, and in terms of pure Siege fundamentals. Shaheens as well, we talk a lot about how the Hunters are very much steeped in these fundamentals of Siege, right? Shaheens are no slouches. They can keep up as well. They've shown it before that they can keep up. So let's see, folks. We're not going to waste any more time. That is correct. We're going into the game. Hunters versus Shaheens. Map number 1, Oregon, picked by Shaheens. With Shaheens on the attack, Hunters on the defense. Let's get into the ban phase. Map 1 is a go.
The ban phase is where it really does start for both of these teams, and with both of these teams knowing exactly what the other can do when it comes down to the operators that they pick up, I'm expecting a couple of targeted bans to come in. Not really the usual as much, but I could be wrong. They could just want to play it the much more standard fashion, not really take any form of risks. But this ban in particular, this is a big one. Hunters, they took out the Flores, basically bolstering their defense by at least, 5 or 10 points. Because the Flores is one of the biggest nuisances that you could have had for a basement side hold, correct? Because that deployable shield alone can hold down basement and stop anyone from pushing in from blue. So that forces the attackers to have a lot more presence over on Big Tower, where the defenders can set a lot of roamers around that zone to shut down the attackers who try to take control of that. But without the Flores now, they're all being forced onto Big Tower. That plays into Hunter's advantages. They're trying to force them into corners. And remember what I said, your Jack? They both know each other's
Mhm.
play styles. And Shaheens, they're making sure, baby, that this one is going to be a spicy best of three. The mute getting banned out is possibly the biggest change that we have seen in a while.
Absolutely. And mind you, because Osa is the other attacker who's been banned as well, that leaves Thatcher in play. Azami will be the final defender to be banned here and now. And of course, folks, that means that the bans have been taken care of. It is Flores and Azami from the side of Hunters LFO and Osa and Mute from the side of the Shaheens. With all that said, let's have a look at the 10 players that are in the lobby in both rosters for us tonight. I mean, let's be real here. Neither of these two need any introduction, but might as well do it anyway. From the side of the Hunters, Sparko, Rattler, Sandy, Jittery, and Beat coming in full force today. And of course, Shaheens in the meanwhile, they have Skywalker, Envy, Mighty Ali, Caesar, and Doctor. All the players that you expect to play here tonight are in play. And let's get back to those bans, shall we? That mute ban, especially, that is a very, very good one from the Shaheens because that opens up Lion play. Absolutely. That opens up drones. That opens up Lion. That opens up Dekebi. That opens up Thatcher. Well, not Thatcher specifically, but, he can be doing his own thing. It also opens up Twitch, mind you. And Shaheens, they love to play their Twitch. We've seen that before from them as well. So Hunters will have a pretty hard time staying stationary at any part of the map. Sure, Lion enforces that defenders stay still, but if you're caught in an awkward position, let's just say Shaheens, they will not be relenting anytime soon. And in the meanwhile, of course, from the Hunter side, it is interesting to me that they were the ones to ban Azami, that they are defense first, of course. And with the loss of Flores, you'd think they'd want someone to be able to give them deployable cover. And with the mute gone as well, protecting those pieces of cover would have been more difficult from Flores. But again, Flores is banned. So the fact that they've banned Azami means that they do not want to give Shaheens any sort of room to play a powerful operator in the same vein as Azami, who can simply create barriers and reconstruct any part of the map that she so wishes with her impacts, and of course with those Kiba barriers that we've been talking about for so long. Mind you, of course, with the mute and the Azami ban, Mira is available to be played. So
Yep.
Mira and Valkyrie. So of course, expect both teams to bring out those two at certain points in the game as it evolves, as the counter strategies come into play. Of course, we'll just sort of wait as the Hunter's pause continues on. They have taken a pause for some connectivity issues that they said that they are having. And of course, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, round one should go off with not too much time remaining. Site seems to be second floor dorms and Dorsmain Hall as well. We'll just have to see, folks. But yeah, for Hunters, this defense without Mute and Azami, I want to see what they have to show.
The way that this entire match is going to go, I'm just trying to think of the strategies that the teams can employ here. Banning out the mute just opened up so many different strategies for the attackers to play around with. Not having the Flores is one of the main issues here, correct? But normally with the Flores, you can work around the mute in some cases. But now without the mute, without the Flores, and now without an Azami, I have a feeling that the members of the Hunters, they're going to play extremely aggressive. They have the Mira available, and just as you stated, they also have a Valkyrie. That really does allow them to play the entire map now, does it not? They can extend the entire floor, or let's just say they're holding from bedroom, correct? The site's in bedroom. Sorry, kids and dorms, my bad. Kids and dorms. And they can extend the site all the way to the first floor if they want to, because of that one Valkyrie. And they have the Mira anchoring the site, so you don't need to play onto site as much. And if the attackers try to push in from bedroom, they don't have the resources to take out the deployable shields if the Jaeger is available. And by playing the first floor, people coming in from Big Tower, they're also in trouble because they need to worry about the bottom side. Constantly being pestered by a lot of utility coming in from the defenders. There's so many different options and plays that both of these teams can make just because they banned out a single character. That just goes to show how powerful Mute is in the current meta and how people are evolving to what they are doing.
Absolutely. Again, it's all down to what the ideation is from the side of the hunters, right? How they will decide to use those options that Aggressive just pointed out, right? And of course, with the Iana, with the Lion in play, bottom floor roam can get a little tricky depending on how hard Shaheens decide to aggress on the roamers, right? And we've seen that before. Of course, Oregon has a couple of common roam spots like bottom white stairs. You have the pretty much the entire kitchen area for second floor. It's basically directly below the site. So of course, meeting as well is a very big area to be roaming in, and a very common one as well. But of course, with the hunters, we've seen them go towards garage, towards the lower laundry stairs as well as playing in basement quite a bit. Chains do that as well, so they might think ahead and expect that from the hunters as well. That we do this thing, we've seen them do this thing. Maybe in round one, that's what they'll do. They'll go all the way down to the basement and they'll try to outflank us for the end of the round. And if you look at hunters on Clubhouse, right, when they go to basement church on Clubhouse, they love sending 4 players up to first and second floor to roam, while just 1 player remains in the site. If you can feasibly take out that 1 player, which is usually pretty hard to do, but if you can take out that 1 player who's usually like an echo or a smoke, then you've got full site control. But then you have to deal with the hunter's retake, which is, let's just say, it's also very deadly. Same with Oregon. I'm expecting the same, that Oregon hunters have practiced their retakes, because sometimes you do lose the site. Sometimes you do lose control, even when you probably have everybody in the site and like 2 players outside. Sometimes it happens. And that's when the retake situation comes into play. And if you are able to, master those retakes and shut down opponents before they can shut you out of the site, then, as a team, you become so versatile that it's very hard to actively deploy any kind of strategy against you as a team. And then, the counter stratting comes in, and then you get to the improvised stuff. And that's when the match really gets exciting, of course, as we still wait for the pause timer from the Hunters side. Again, like we said, they are fixing some connectivity issues and all of that. We've seen this before, folks. It's just South Asia stuff still. But for now, like we said, there's plenty to theorize and talk about right before the game itself, because this is a match with history. These are players with history against and with each other. Hunters have faced Doctor before. Doctor, when he used to play for Mercenaries, right? Envy and Mighty Ellie in their old rosters as well. They were no slouches, those rosters, let me tell you. And Skywalker, probably the youngest one in this entire roster, is a very good up-and-coming player as well. It looks like we're not going to be keeping you here much longer, folks. We are going to be going back into the game here and now. There it is. So, we've talked a lot. We've
playing trap
theorized
operators.
an absolute ton. Yes, they are. There are traps in play. No Capcan, though. It is quite smart, because Shaheens love their aggression as well, right? So it's quite smart to try to...
Okay, think about it like this. Normally, if there's a mute available, right, the attackers have to utilize a buttload of utility, correct, to try and clear out the mute jammers. Now that there is no mute, how are you gonna bait out a lot of the utility from the attackers? You don't really have a lot of options, correct? But if you play the trap operators, you force them to utilize a lot of their utility to clear out those traps, and then you make their attack a lot weaker before they enter the site. Like, I completely understand the ideology that you were going in for before, when you were saying, okay, let's just say the hunters have a lot, hunters are not able to stop them from entering the site. They take over the site. The attackers will still have a bunch of utility present, correct? They don't have to worry about as much, because without the mute, how much are you trying to consider? But Sandy, okay, he's the X factor. Let's just not focus on that for a while. He gets a free first skill, and that's on the hard breacher. That's the hard breacher being taken away. And poor old Skywalker, you can't believe it. He threw his drone to the floor. But that's what I meant.
That is a big one. Yeah. Like,
that's your hard breacher gone, and the traps are still all over the place.
Yep. You've got the Goro canisters, you've got the Wamai Magnus, these deployable shields, you've got C4s, barbed wire, Jaeger ADSs, Razor Blooms from the Thorn. So much to worry about. And that's the thing, right? It is quite smart, and it is also, you know, what's even smarter, right, is that this is expected behavior from Sandy. As Jittery goes down in the meanwhile, Envy gets one. Ooh, Rattler gotta get away from that fire as quickly as possible. As one of those Goyo canisters, two of those Goyo canisters actually have already been detonated. Sandy gets Caesar, trying to get a bit cheeky, peeking out of that front side. More shots should be fired, and Sandy gets another. That's a shotgun. Wait a minute. Beat with the M870. All right, Skywalker's down, and an early couple of kills here. We're just past the half-minute mark, folks. And Doctor's the last one standing, the only one to have gotten a kill so far. Sparker will shut him down below. All right, all that talk about the lower roam and extension to basement. Yeah, no, Hunter said none of that. We're just going to play extensions into attic. We're going to have a shotgun player sitting in trophy, and we're going to let Sandy do his spawn peeking thing. And it worked. I gotta say, it worked. You know, I was gonna point out how Sandy spawn peeking is expected behavior. However, round one, he usually refrains. Not this time. Hunters taking round one.
Confidence. That's just the confidence coming in from the man. He came back from land. He didn't have much fun at it. But now here, oh, he's making sure he's going to have some fun against the Shaheens. The guy gets a triple kill right off the bat. And when you give Sandy that first good start, I don't think I need to tell you this, Jack, but if Sandy gets a good first half, you can be damn sure that he's going to carry that momentum throughout the rest of the game.
Exactly.
He got 3 kills
right?
already. Yeah, that 3K can
like
just
he
propel
smelled
him
the
to
blood
an
in the
ace.
water. Yep. That 3K is like he smelled the blood in the water. He's hungry now.
10 seconds to go.
He's going to go above and beyond his limits to try and take down his opposition. And the Shaheens, they need to be worried about that. But, okay, from that last round, the Shaheens felt a little bit too disconnected. I think they got caught off guard from the aggression coming in from Sandy.
Yeah.
And losing out on their hard breacher just kind of put a damper on their plans. Shaheens, they had this issue in the past where they take a little bit of time to adapt to a strategy, but the Hunters didn't even give them an opportunity to adapt. They just kept the pressure going, and Sandy just got kill after kill, not allowing them to even breathe for even a second.
Well, for now, we'll see how the response is. As you can see through the operator shadows, folks, plenty of orange shadows around the first floor. There's one around the main stairs, one towards Big Tower first floor. That's an interesting place to be, and it's towards the boxes side of Big Tower first floor as well, not the stairs. So whoever it is playing pretty actively on the tower first floor, probably looking for a couple kills here. Skywalker dropping down with a teammate to the second floor of Big Tower. Drones out. And whoever's there is still there. The ping goes out. And that is the position given away. Shots are fired.
Wait,
but
he's not
Jittery!
dead. Jittery gets
He
out.
walks away. He slips down into basement, into sight. Envy goes down as Mighty Ellie does get the refrag on Jittery. But guess what? It's a 4v3. And Jittery was literally walking away. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. As it's taken a 2-for-2, 2-for-1 at the minute, but now it's 2-for-2. Caesar finding Sandy, shutting down the alibi before more damage can be done. But of course, it ain't over. This three-man attack is going to be much more difficult to properly handle because the defenders have just so much to work with. Whereas Shaheens, they still have yet to get like things like the hatches and utilities, and this is the thing, right? Hunter's early aggression is just insane for this.
And the Hunters are just now going to hold them back. Everyone's in towards the side. They don't really have a lot of space. Rattler gets a freebie. He has a deployable shield in the back to worry about as well. And wait a minute. Oh, what just happened here? Rattler is still very much alive. He still can get this. And the shotgun's right around the corner. Just he knew exactly where Ali was. There's no way. What just happened? He's confused himself. What just happened? They just gave him free kills all around. Look at the lines of sight. Look at the corners. Caesar just did everything. Right at the end, they got all of the frags. Hunters. God damn, Rattler is just one of those anchors that you want to have on your team all day, every day.
Absolutely. My goodness, that's one hell of a way for a Rattler to, you know, make a statement. Catching the Lion off on blue entry, then going with an SMG onto the player on tower stairs and shotgun out. The presence of mind from Rattler to know that, yeah, he probably heard the drop, right? So he's thinking, I heard the drop, so there's only 2 places this opponent can come from. Technically 3 if they go through blue. But Rattler isn't really counting on that. He's standing right next to the bomb chassis. Shotgun will cover the big door that's next to him, the small door that is usually that goes into default plant spot, and of course the blue elbow. So he's got everything covered because he's got the shotgun out and the presence of mind to check the door, because hatch trap usually means one of the 2 doors. And he didn't see anyone on the small door. He went to the big door, got the kill. Good stuff right there. As we move in to the 3rd round, it is first floor meeting and kitchen, of course, the more preferred site pick between meeting and, of course, dining kitchen. As we have the Hunters 2-0 up very early indeed. Although, mind you, the way Hunters played that last round, it could also be signs of a couple of troublesome factors here, given how they seem to give away bodies a little bit too easily. Jittery, what is this?
Whoa,
What was that?
Whoa.
Oh no!
Why?
Both Jittery and Sparko got a bit too over-aggressive there. They're both gone now. It's a very early 3v5.
That was a little bit too close for comfort, but I guess sure. That's going to be a tough one to try and get them back from unless Beat just walks away with 2 kills. He needs to find a couple of kills there. If he doesn't, then his team doesn't really have an opportunity to try and survive this one. But I don't like the chances for Beat here. I think they know exactly where Beat is. They're not peeking him for this exact reason. Oh, they know his exact
Somebody's
position.
already
Yeah.
in. Yep, somebody's already in attic as well. Hard breach is done. It's a 2v5. How do the Hunters really get away with this? 1 down is there. Sandy cannot confirm that kill. Shotgun is out looking for another one as the hatch will be broken open. Sandy's got to be careful about this. Flashbang's out. He is the warden. He can see through smoke and flashes as he sees fit. But for the meanwhile, he'll be seeing through Caesar's head. There's somebody approaching him right behind. He doesn't know this. Shotgun's out. Wait a minute. He still gets away with that. The Banshee stopped him. Rattler gets the other 2. They're flanking in the late game. Are you kidding me? They walk away with a 2v5. Sandy and Rattler. The flank in the late game, and Sandy single-handedly SMG-12 shotgun combo on a warden manages to walk away, and that Thermite is going to be kicking themselves that they did not get the warden on the shield. Way too disoriented by the Banshee. The drone gave away the warden's position, but still, Sandy, immaculate. Rattler, that flank, because Sandy managed to hold it off in the site. Immaculate gets the final 2. It's a 3-0 Hunters. They are sending a message right now.
There's absolutely no way. These guys are just brimming with confidence. Do they have a boat to pit with the members of the Shaheens? What is exactly happening here? This doesn't make any sense. They just ran out right off the bat at the very start. I've never seen Jittery start going in for runouts like that. That's the first sign here, Jack.
That was very unusual. Yeah.
No, that is not Jittery. If you told me that, oh, Sandy, he's running out, yeah, sure, I would believe you, but Jittery.
Yeah, Sandy, like, expected behavior, right? But
Jittery. Yeah, but for Jittery, this doesn't really happen. Even coming in from Beat as well. So you're not, was it Beat or?
Sparko.
Was it? No, it was Sparko. Even Sparko.
Yeah.
Sparko's possibly one of the most refrained players in this entire team. He's like that rock for the team that stays back and makes sure his teammates, even if they make massive mistakes, he's always the one to pick up the pieces. He does that for his squad. But at the end of the day, they don't even need anything like that. They have the confidence to make things work out in their favor. Sandy with 6 kills, Rattler with 5. They're leading the charge, and they are constantly switching up the operators that they are playing, keeping things fresh each and every time, not allowing Shaheens to get even a single bit of a grasp of what their strategies are going to look like. And Shaheens, where's the answer? Where's the adaptation? I don't see them changing up their strats much at all.
Saw that first peek from Rattler. Envy will shut him down as a result. Rattler getting a bit too ahead of himself, possibly. There goes the E1D, and there go the grenades and flashbangs. Mighty Ellie's already inside of Armory as well, clearing out everything that he possibly can. Sparko's still down below as Ali will go down. Sandy gets 1, Sandy gets 2, Skywalker finding Beat. In the meanwhile, Jittery gets another. Excuse me, nearly messed up his name there. And of course, that again leaves Hunters with a man count advantage. Suddenly, it's this approach to sight that's getting shut down every single time. And Hunters just have all the answers, but not quite. Caesar with that beautiful peek, using the angle against him. But Envy goes down to Jittery, who now takes over that position of Trophy Overwatch. And Caesar now caught in pretty much between a rock and a hard place, because Jittery and Sparko, Valcams are available. Thatcher EMP can only cover so much area. Don't get me wrong, 5 meters radius is huge. That's Razor Bloom, you better get away from that. And he does. Caesar, last one standing, Diffuser as well. We've seen 1v2s from Caesar before. It's not impossible. He's got a whole minute to do this as well. But with Thatcher, is he really the best attacker anchor in this situation? Not very likely. He's close to the bedroom breach. He's coming back to Trophy again. There's really only one entry for him right now. He's going to come into the main door. There are the pings, and Sparker will peek. Caesar goes down. Hunters now up 4 rounds in the first half. And we said this before, folks, Oregon is a defender-sided map. So, you know, even if it's a 4-2 first half, Hunters have a good lead here. Yeah, not usually. Don't get me wrong. It's Hunters who are making it this defender favorite today. This is all Hunters right now.
It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense now, does it? Timeout has been taken. It's warranted. They need this timeout. They need to start figuring out. They need to start figuring out what exactly is going wrong. I'm trying to rack my brain as well, trying to think of what exactly are Hunters doing that's giving them such an advantage. And I do believe it's their constant adaptation. And in my eyes, the way that they're adapting and at the pace at which they're adapting as well is what's causing these issues. Because the Hunters went in for a completely different strat with full-on trap operators before, right? When they picked up the dorms site last time. They had complete traps. Sandy got the first couple of kills early on and then went back to his defensive positions. That trap playstyle really just did not, you know, force the members of the Shaheens into a very uncomfortable spot. Yeah, the Shaheens took a while to clear a lot of the utility, but that's pretty much it. It didn't really get the level of value that we were expecting from that certain composition. Then came this particular round where they're playing a lot more aggressively with a completely new and different set of operators. They had the Valkyrie this time around to hold down the site, clear out a lot of the roams, and also allow the roamers to just extend much more further beyond their own capabilities. They can play in extremely dangerous positions and not be punished for it as much because they have info to play around with and run away if they have to. And because of their adaptive plays, the Shaheens are just getting caught off in more ways than one. The early round adaptations are not there. Shaheens, they're going in for a set strat, and that set strat is not going to work going up against the Hunters like this because the Hunters, they're just changing up each and every part of their strategy so often that unless you call the strat and then you see the operators that the defenders have picked up, you need to go in for a completely different strategy from the side. And unless they do something like this, it's just not going to work. Set plans are not going to get you a victory here.
Overall, I gotta say, Shaheens, they've just been put in a corner right now, and they've got to figure something out here, because if they don't, well, let's just say that it's not going to look too good for them. Hunters, they've come in with the full intention to put Shaheens in the coffin, map 1, and well, we'll just have to see now, won't we? Now, mind you, folks, let's just say this much. Let's get this out of the gate. Excuse me, let's get this out the gate. Hunters and Shaheens, they've pretty much qualified at this point, right? Hunters winning this match just secures them for a better seed. And of course, if they win their matches tomorrow, day after as well, then of course, even better for them. At the same time, we'll just have to see how Shaheens respond. This pause that's been taken from them, they took the tactical timeout. Doctor had a disconnection. He's back. But they're continuing the pause because they kind of need this time, right? They need to figure out what's been going wrong. Because everything they've done so far hasn't really worked. They tried going all the way to Big Tower for the meeting hold and what you normally do for Big Tower, right? They still couldn't seal it down. They had a 3v5, 2v5 advantage early because they got rid of all of the bodies above and the runouts and all that, right? Well, guess what? Sandy and Rattler clearly had alternative plans, right? And That's what I'm saying, right? Today, right now, Hunters with this level of precision from them, this kind of play, it's something that we don't see too often. It's basically indicative. Excuse me, right there, I nearly butchered that word. It's indicative of a Hunters that are here to kill. Pretty much, they are, for whatever reason, not too happy today, and they want to finish this. So let's go into the game. Let's see if
They
Shaheens
got a
have
vote
an
to
answer. Oh yeah, Shaheens better have an answer. They've taken a long pause, and whatever strategy, whatever the counter they've come up with, they need to deploy it now.
The IQ got picked up. They're expecting a Valkyrie to come in, but there's no Valk. If the side is on basement, of course, you don't want to play out the Valkyrie as often if you have a bunker strat in mind. But are they really going to bunker? I would expect a Valk, but if they're expecting the attackers to play the IQ, Hunters, are they thinking one step ahead of the attackers? Now that would be something that would... It does feel like it, doesn't it, Jack? Like, whatever strategy the Shaheens are coming up with, the Hunters are just one step ahead.
I mean, yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one.
Because
It
normally
really
you would
is just
play a
a-
Valkyrie, right? Because you want to roam. You want to extend the sides up to the second floor, but they're not doing that. They're playing much more traditional without the Valkyrie, forcing them to use out the IQ, and oh my god, beat! Oh
He
boy, the
almost
Tootsies of
walked away with that.
Skywalker was... Yeah, the Tootsies were spotted. Look at the level of aggression that they're going in for, and beat. He's not stepping off the gas pedal just yet. He's holding on a very dangerous position. This bathroom hallway could just be the make it or break it for him. He's now on small tower. What is he thinking?
Drones are out in the meanwhile. The drones, of course, going into big tower because that's where the shots were perceived to have come from. And of course, we saw a couple of defenders walk up as well. Skywalker's got to be careful how he drops here, of course. Drop on the stairs and you'll lose a chunk of your health. It's kind of weird how the fall damage works. Okay, Jittery's still fully willing to go for runouts out the main door. Of course, given that his position is now revealed, at least it would have been for just a hot second. He's got to be careful. Drone is still giving away where he is, so he's going to play on the main stairs. Sandy and Rattler expecting a bunker push right about now, but that hasn't happened. All of Shaheens are focused on the tower side and on roam clear. If they get the hatch open, they've got entry into site potentially, but that's where the Jaeger comes, and that is where Sparko is going to be most applicable. In V looked away from where Jittery was at possibly the wrong time there. Could have gotten the head, but still nothing. This is the latest that any round has gone without a body down so far, as we're at the minute 10 with all 10 players alive. Skywalker, the only one who's been lit.
Still a lot of utility they need to try and clear as well. Remember what I said? If they use a lot of utility to just take out the roamers, then the attack will become drastically weak. Trying to hold down a particular sideline. Envy! That's a pre-fire. He heard out Beat. Beat was just making so much noise, stomping in out into the open. That's going to be the first body to get dropped. 40 seconds left on the clock, and now the attack is just about to begin. But still, Rattler is in such a power position. And that smoke will be your biggest downfall if you're not careful.
Very well. So as Jittery gets the first one, Skywalker is now down, but they've lost two bodies as well. Flashbangs are out.
Goodbye.
Sandy, he's gonna get that. Did not check the corner. Doctor goes down as well. The
Remember what I
shotgun's
said,
in.
it's happening.
And
It's
the
happening.
smoke gas grenades are out as well. Envy coming around the back main stairs. But of course, the Banshee's giving away this push. As Caesar goes down, that's a diffuser drop as well. 3v1. Envy needs to find something here. Gets one. Has 4 seconds to clear the final two. But you got an SMG-11 on one side, and you've got Jittery on the other. There was no way he was making it out of that one alive or with the diffuser. And so another round goes to the Hunters. They are 5-0 up. Folks, Shaheens have a great history on Oregon. They love this map. They love bringing it out. But remember what me and Aggressive said in the pre-show. Hunters, excuse me, if there's one thing that you can say about the Hunters, their fundamentals and how they can use that to make these plays is nearly unrivaled. There's a reason we've been saying that up until today, tonight, and we'll continue to say that into the foreseeable future. Because guess what? Shaheens, for all of their near spotless records, for all of their beautiful plays we've seen on this map, Hunters are making it look like nothing because they are 5-0 up now. And Shaheens on their defense, even if it's 1-5, it's gonna be difficult because we haven't even seen the Hunters attack yet.
10 seconds left.
I just don't know, man. The defense just looks so impenetrable, and this is what's happening so often. They're spending so much time clearing out the roamers, they're spending so much utility to clear that particular phase out as well, that this is what's happening. It doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to think of a strategy, I'm trying to analyze it in some way, shape, and form of what the Shaheens can do to try and maybe win out a couple of these rounds, but I'm not really getting anything. The level of confidence in the side of the Hunters is what's giving them so many advantages here. But then again, the Shaheens, they're just walking into the awaiting arms of the Hunters as well. They get advantages, they get the picks, they clear out the roams, but they're not trying to clear out a lot of the utility that could be present in towards the side. They're not keeping their utility for the much more important parts of the round.
There's definitely a disconnect happening somewhere. Oh, I don't quite agree with that one. Wait, both of them peeked him? Okay, Jittery and Rattler gone. Beat, you gotta be careful behind you! Sparko's got the cover in the meanwhile. Doctor goes down. The Lion trying to push up. Mighty Ellie gets beat. What is happening? There's a big collapse on the second floor right about now. But once again, it is this time Sandy and Sparko, the last two standing. The site is meeting, mind you. And I really hope that Shaheens don't think that they've cleared out the second floor, because they absolutely have not. Here comes the drop from Sparko. Going in, the plant is happening. Mighty Ellie's going to get that down. So it's a post-plant situation now. Definitely a lot tougher for the Hunters, and Sparko making so much noise is definitely giving away where he's going to be pushing in from. Sparko and Sandy get a couple here. But of course, Skywalker with the triple now. It was a trade indeed. Sandy's position given away. Main stairs. Envy will shut him down. All right, much better attack from the side of the Shaheens. They will finally put a round on board. Of course, better late than never, as we love to say. 5-1 in the first half. And now we go into the Hunters attack. Shaheens on the defense, but like we said before, 1-5s are not impossible. There is still a way to win this for Shaheens, but they have to be on pretty much their most perfect siege that they have played in a while. And Hunters, of course, they will continue applying the pressure. The momentum is very, very much in their favor right now.
I'm just a little bit shell-shocked of what really is happening throughout this entire match. Shaheens, finally they were able to adapt, but is it a little bit too late? Because the way that they are playing now, it feels as though their confidence has been shot. Vinci's been putting up numbers, so you have to say. Vinci, or Envy, he's basically Vinci. But the way this match changes his names, he changes it way too often. But Vinci, the way that we know him, he's been playing phenomenally. 5 kills, 4 deaths. He's one of the dark horses of this entire matchup. He's able to perform, he's able to get the frags, he's able to shut down a lot of these roamers without investing a lot of his resources, but his teammates need to follow that level of suit as well. But now that they're here on the defensive side, that same goes for their roams. They can't really invest a lot of utility, and they're here to force the attackers to use a lot of their own utility to try and make them feel as uncomfortable as possible. But will the Hunters follow that suit? Will they actually utilize a lot to try and break into the sites? That's what we're going to be finding out soon enough, because Sandy on the Snook, oh boy, he's ready to try and get his opponents down.
Sandy, the kind of player that if you put them on the Nook, then, well, let's just say that the defenders have a lot more to worry about than a Nook sneaking into the site. Jaeger's position now given away, and Sandy takes advantage of that. Twitchstone
He
allows him
knows.
to get one, but he
He
knows
should
full
know.
well that there's somebody else in the hallway. That's the Goyo as well. Any second now, one peek could change how this round goes. If Sandy gets a second here, then of course for Shaheens, this defense gets much harder. There are players down below no longer in play, but Sandy disengages, sees the Goyo still, but Chittery's on the other side.
Chittery's on the
Clean
back.
up. There goes Envy, and it's a 3v5 now. All that's left is the side push. Attic has been breached as well. All that's left is to get bedroom open, and boom, you got yourself a pincer push for the Aegis.
Ooh, Chittery. Ooh. Leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it!
Oh, he should have disengaged. He should have disengaged.
Yeah, we
Sandy's
were all
grenade
saying
just
that.
in time. Unfortunate.
It happens to the best of us. Chittery was trying to, go for his namesake. He was trying to jitter around, maybe fade out the Aruni a little bit, but really just did not work out in his favor. Mighty Ali's going to be able to walk away with that, but still, ample amounts of time for the Hunters to work their way towards the side. They have the man advantage, they're opening up the walls, they still have a lot of utility to burn as well. 2 flashes, 2 grenades, and 2 AMPs. Oh, they have everything in the entire world to open things up. So now, it's just about the setup, it's just about the timing, and now for the execution. That should happen in 3, 2, 1. The sight hit comes in.
The cross, though. This cross from Doctor is huge. Mighty Ellie pushing up, actually getting away with one as well. Sparkle unable to catch that in time. Sandy gets one, but Beat goes down. Sparkle getting Mighty Ellie, and Sandy from White Stairs. That's exactly what clinched it. Sandy on White Stairs. They didn't know where the Nook was because that attack was dicey at best from the Hunters. I don't think they thought that they'd be able to get this far that quickly. That's why we saw them stall for a good 40 seconds in there. And they were just standing still like, okay, what do we do now? Because I don't think they quite expected to have as much ground as quickly as they did. But they still managed to work it out. And Nook on the White Stairs, like we said, Sandy, always the troublemaker, always one to watch out for. Now, 6-1. Hunters on map point, and mind you, this is Shaheens' map pick. So Shaheens, your defense on dorms has been broken once. What is your answer? Well, Doctor, he's really living up to his name right now. He's got the Doc in play.
Doc is pretty good now, so I'm really surprised that he has picked it up. Yep. But the thing is he good enough to try and maybe warrant a comeback? It's 1-6, Jack. To come on back from such a scoreline, that is gonna try and burn you down quite a bit. You can't make a single mistake. One misstep, one over-aggressive peak, and you're done for. The Hunters, they know how to punish your mistakes, and in this case, Shaheens, they cannot make that many. That last round was pretty good. I'll give them that. They had the setups in play. They had everything under wraps, and they knew what they needed to do to try and maybe shut down the members of the Hunters. But those roams, they didn't really bear any fruit because of one particular reason. They had nowhere to back onto. They had no form of utility to try and bail them out of a failed roam attempt. And if that's how you're going to be playing, the Hunters are of course going to pick you off one by one. Unless you have something that can get you out of that sticky situation, those roams are extremely dangerous against such a coordinated team.
Absolutely. As Sandy pushing up with the Nook is seen and gets Mighty
How
Ellie.
does he get away
of course,
with
the
this?
Aruni with the DMR going down. That's a Sandy, you know. If I had to pick, you know, a song to pretty much describe Sandy, it's Thunderstruck, you know? Because he just comes in, he strikes like thunder, and he goes away as quickly as one, too. It's so hard to catch him. And now Sandy is
the storm that is
still
approaching.
active. Absolutely. I mean, if you want boss
bury
mode,
the
go with
light.
Sandy, yes.
Yes, bury the light. This guy just fits it so well. Virgil's gonna be coming back onto the server, ladies and gentlemen. And Sandy, he's the reincarnate.
He's going 14-4 right now as well.
Yep.
Activating presence reduction.
Jeez, Sandy just... This is the kind of player that everyone who plays like aggressive damage dealer type ops wants to be. Oh, grenade. Cooked quite a bit, but the smoke gets away. Skywalker Still holding Attic, doing double duty right now. As the Goyo on the door of Trophy into the site itself, of course, has been popped. More shots fired. A whole minute remaining for this Hunter's attack to get in here right about now. But these Surya gates, of course, will be a problem. There's another E1D, but Envy finds Beat. That was the Lion on Big Tower. Jittery, in the meanwhile, was still on Tower Stairs. Guess what? He gets one, takes a bit of damage. There goes the Doc. Sandy's in here right about now. Gets two.
Goodbye.
It's a triple kill for Sandy. He just needs one more. Is he going to get it? Not quite. Caesar shuts down the Nook with the pistol, but Jittery comes in for the cleanup. It is just no response right about now from the Shaheens. Hunters are too good indeed. Buried 6 foot under and then some. Shaheens on their map as well. We've seen them play this against teams like MercenarieZ, against KIRA Esports, against Hunters before as well. But Hunters tonight, well, let's just say they clearly had a message to send. And boy, did they send it.
Yep. I don't know what else did they said with it, because they pulled out on all the stops and they were not missing a single goddamn shot in this entire match. I don't know. Sandy just woke up on the right side of the bed, but then again, we already talked about it, that Sandy's going to have a phenomenal performance this game. There's no way you can stop him. You gave him a 3K on the first round. You let him walk away from a spawn peak without taking a single point of damage. And that's the thing. If Sandy has that good of a start in the game, you are guaranteed to win that map. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who you are. You are guaranteed to win if you don't shut down Sandy in the first 3 rounds. That's what happened. They couldn't bring down Sandy even a bit. The man just runs and thrives off of confidence. If he is confident in his playstyle, if he's confident in what he is doing on that particular map or that particular hold or any particular roam even, the guy just doesn't care. He'll be in your face. Tell me honestly here, Jack, who the hell does that with a Nook? A Nook is supposed to be sneaky. He's going to try to, hook a couple of grenades from the bottom, maybe catch them off guard, trying to jump scare them from time to time, right? It's spooky season. But no, he's being spooky in another way. He's jumping at your face like Scream.
Oh, yeah.
He has his knife out in his hand. Michael Meyer music
Straight
playing
up,
in the background.
I was about to say the exact thing. You took the words right out of my mouth there.
Hey, great fights think alike, because this guy felt like Michael Myers. He did.
Yeah, no, ugh. Not even just Michael Myers. Sandy, give him the opportunity, he'll haunt you in your sleep. He's just that kind of a deadly player when he gets going. Like you said, right, the first 3 rounds are vital against Sandy. If he gets any momentum going, right, and mind you, this counts for both halves, right? It's not that first 3 rounds in the map. If Sandy gets going in the second half as well, then that second half you're more than likely going to lose, because he's going to get kill after kill after kill. He's so hard to stop. Just in round 7, he was at 10-4 alone. And then in the last round, he walked away with a triple while he was 13-4. He's sitting at 16-4 at the end of 8 rounds. That is just something else. Sandy is just something else as a player. But of course, we talk a lot about Sandy, but mind you, the rest of the team for Hunters, no slouches at all. Rattler, when he coordinated with Sandy for that 2v5, Sparko has been chipping away left and right all the time. He's not an active nuisance, but he's there, and you will feel his presence every time. Because guess what? He's not the one who's going to go out to get the kills. He'll be the one droning. He'll be the one hard breaching. He'll be the one bringing the Jaeger and basically being the central pillar that holds the team together. And of course, you on top of that, you have Beat, you have Jittery, 2 of the players who have for years dominated this scene with their playstyles, with their sometimes, Beat playing the support as well. He's still such a great support player. And Jittery, we've said everything we possibly can about Jittery in the last 2 years right now, as he's just risen as a player, right? And of course, as he's risen, so have the Hunters. Hunters have always been a great team, even back in the day when they had EX7, right? Of course, EX7's departure meant that they had to pick up someone else, and Rattler seems to have become that player for them. playing mostly support on the defense and kind of hanging back on the attack as well, letting Sandy and Jittery go and do their thing while he and Beat do the flex roles, just do whatever support they can, get the drones in and get kills. Of course, even Jittery, as of late, has been doing a lot more droning and support, all of it as a foil to Sandy whenever Sandy gets going. It's almost as if the team just knows that, hey, Sandy's already moving, and if he's moving like this, let's just help him, right? The strategy then just becomes Sandy go kill. And it somehow it is one of the best strategies that this team ends up coming out with on the attack. I mean, I don't know what to tell you folks. It just is.
Yep. The Shaheens just didn't have an answer. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't even say the Shaheens were playing bad, but the Hunters were just one step ahead. The Shaheens did nothing wrong. Personally, Jack, you can't really say the Shaheens are making like outlier mistakes. Like, oh god, they should not have done that. No, they're playing the map like the way it's meant to be played. They're playing normal Siege. Textbook Siege, I would say. Yeah, they're playing textbook Siege.
Pretty
That's
much,
a lot more of a better way. But up against the Hunters, that just doesn't work. You need to play something out of the ordinary. You need to have your own identity going up against this team because textbook Siege is not going to get you anywhere. And I'm really hoping that they have some form of an idea of what they're going to do on Clubhouse because now they're going into the Hunters map pick. You got to remind yourself that this was Shahid's pickup.
Yeah.
This is what happened to them.
That's the scary thing to think about, right? That this was Shaheens' pick, and we've seen them take down and take some of the other titans of our region to overtime, max OT, and taking victories against them in the Pro Series, specifically Fall Edition, of course, and in the Nationals itself so far. But Hunters, and like I said, right, we've talked about the Hunters Shaheens best of 5 grand finals from the Pro Series Fall Edition a lot. But it's clear to me that Hunters right now are a step above what they were during that BO5. And we'll talk about that more in a minute, but look at that. 16-5, the scorecard, of course, the match summary in front of all of our viewers at home. 16-5, 3-0 on entry, 88% cost, and 2.07 rating. Is there anything Sandy can do? He's like,
I think that's the highest rating in this tournament.
I know, right? I have not seen a single 2 rating, like 2+ rating, in the entire Nationals, even probably in all of the Pro Series. I think for this year, Sandy's probably achieved one of the best ratings possible in South Asia. We'll have to check that, of course, but like, how do you stop this man? 3 KD, pretty much right there. 3-0 on entry. No one is even as close. Envy is 2-0 on entry, but at the same time, he's 6-6, 63%, and less than 1 on the survivability rating. So just that's the thing, right? Sandy right now is just, he will do your taxes, he will cook your breakfast, he will pack your lunch, and he will send you 6 feet under.
He's one hell of a butler. I don't think you know the reference. If you know the reference, then yes, you get it.
Yeah, I got it. Don't you worry. Oh,
he
boy.
Literally is that. He's doing everything for a squad properly, but for the Shaheens, that's the thing. Like, you guys could say back at home, the Shaheens are not playing that well, but that's not the case. They're playing what they normally do. The Hunters are just a step above the rest here today. Like, Shaheens, they're in the same place that they were at the end of the Fall Edition. But Hunters, after they came back, they went from the level that they were to like a completely different standard now. 7-1 for Oregon, that's gonna be one thing, but for Clubhouse, I'm a bit worried, man. I really am.
I know, right?
Because
yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do here. Maybe a couple of interesting map bans that could be coming. Operator bans that could be coming in for this particular matchup. But even with the operator bans, I want to see the Shaheens think outside of the box, because playing good old-fashioned Siege is just not going to be working here. That was proven to us clearly from the map of Oregon.
Shaheens have to come up with something different, right? Whatever they did on Oregon, their normal play style, what they have done successfully against, KIRA Esports. Excuse me, I was about to say Cafe. I was looking at that map for whatever reason in the bottom lane there. Um, but whatever they've done against KIRA Esports, whatever they've done against Mercenaries, they have to keep that in mind, of course. It will come in handy. But right now, they have to build on top of it very quickly if they want to mount a comeback here. Because Clubhouse, I don't know, man. Some tells me Clubhouse is going to be even more difficult for the Shaheens at this point because we've seen Hunters on Clubhouse, right? It is exceptionally difficult to defeat Hunters on Clubhouse. Sure, they have been beaten here before, but who hasn't, right? Who hasn't been beaten on Clubhouse? It's a thing that happens to everyone. But Hunters, especially after how they played on Oregon, they are here. They're out for blood. There's no two ways about it. They're out for blood here, folks, tonight. And we'll see if they get it, of course. Map 2, it'll take a moment before we get to that. But Map 2 is going to be quite the game. Quite the game indeed. We're not going to be taking a break. We've just been informed by our producer, of course. We're going to be going straight into Map 2 in just a short while, of course. Let the players take a bit of a breather. I'm pretty sure Shaheens need it right now more than most.
Yeah,
Because,
they do.
like we said, it's the blow from going 1-7 down. And this is the same team that they beat in a BO5 Grand Finals in the Fall Edition. It's like, that's got to mess with your head, right? Then we beat them 0-3. They barely put up a fight. And now here in the Nationals, this is what we're up against. It's like a wall, right? And a wall that you want to break through and you feel like you've done it before, but then you come back to it and it's like it's just almost entirely unbreakable now. That one round that Shaheens got, it was a great round. Don't get me wrong. They actually changed up their attack and caught the Hunters off from what the Hunters were probably expecting, which is, full credit to them. But here's the catch, folks. Shaheens are in a catch-22 now because they have to do that for every round they play now. And as good as the Shaheens are, I don't think they're as versed as the Hunters are in having different strats for every single possible round in a game. So, yeah, I mean, the chips are stacked against them. Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, we're just stating everything from the analytics and from what we have seen in the last match. That's the thing, like, you could say we're being biased here, but no. The odds are stacked against them. We're just talking about the numbers at this point. I don't know about you, Jack, but I'm a massive statistics nerd. And speaking of which, I have my statistic exam on Monday. I need to remind myself for that later. I just remembered. Good God. But yeah, we are talking about numbers. We're talking about statistics and talking about the probability here. Because the way that the last match played out, that's not only going to be a problem for what the Shaheens are playing. Like, I'm pretty sure they understand as well. They just played a little bit too predictable, I would say. It was just too ordinary for the standard that the Hunters have set for themselves now. But the real question is, do they have what it takes to just adapt on the fly? Because the Shaheens, they're shocked. They're actually shell-shocked because no one has faced off against the Hunters in almost a week. I'm pretty sure that the Shaheens were not expecting something like this. They were not expecting a Hunters of this caliber to show up and just take the entire scene by storm all of a sudden. And I don't know what their chances are going to look like here on map number 2, but maybe, just maybe, if they have a proper game plan in mind and if they're able to shut down the aggressive peaks coming in from the Hunters, then they have a good opportunity to take the entire game away in their favor. The real question is, we're going to be finding that out soon enough because Clubhouse is one of those maps that really does set a storyline for Siege, storyline for any particular best of 3. That is a map where a lot of the storylines start, a lot of the storylines end, and for a lot of the teams as well, they start to gain an identity. That's why Clubhouse is one of the beloved maps of Siege. That's why this map is never going to get banned, never going to get taken out of the game as well. Because everyone loves it so much, because this is where a player is shaped and molded into what they are currently for the entire game. I'm pretty sure that even players like Sandy, Jittery, they can say the same, that this is where a lot of people just learn how to play the game. It's a standard map that you can always just, be like, oh, I played on Clubhouse. Everything that I learned on this particular map, I can utilize it to play on other maps. And that goes to show that both of these teams, they need to make their stand here. For Hunters, it could be another day in the office. But for Shaheens, this is a promotion match.
Pretty much, and like we said before, right, one of these two teams, their unbeaten streak will be ended here, right?
True.
The team that loses will end up in second place. Hunters, should they somehow get 1-2 at the end of tonight, then they will still have gained a point. They'll tie with MercenarieZ at 9 points. If they win, they'll have won all of their matches and will go to 10 with pretty good, round differential as well, going for like in their favor. So there's so much that the Hunters have right now going for them. Shaheens, should they lose this, they'll end up in second place, a place they don't want to be in. Let me remind all of our viewers, they will still be in second because KIRA has lost 2 games. Shaheens will have lost 1. So just in terms of matches won and lost, Shaheens are still in a relatively good spot, but second place, going up against whoever's in third, that's another tough fight that Shaheens will have to brace for. And that's still not considering these two teams' final games that'll be coming up between tomorrow and day after. There's a lot to play for right now. And mind you, we are already in the ban phase. Yes,
no.
Like we said, this map will have surprises indeed. Maverick is the first ban here on Clubhouse. And this is a ban we have not seen in a long time. We'll see if Shaheens go for the mute ban. Hunters on the other side, they're going to get rid of the Thatcher as well. Breaching is going back to ye olde days in Clubhouse, where it used to be a Zofia or a grenade from down below to take care of any utility on those
Ban the mute, I dare
CCTV
you.
wall, to be specifically. Let's see, is it going to be the mute ban? If it is, it probably will be a kite ban, actually, now that I think about it.
That's
No,
smart.
Valkyrie. I mean, yeah, standard ban, and more so than that, Valkyrie, we saw the power of Valk in the in the last map, right? We saw the power of Valk as well. Hunters is so good with that op. And of course, Shaheens with the final ban. They've taken their time with this decision, folks. Who's it going to be? Kaid, yep, thought as much. With Thatcher and Maverick gone, opening hatches, opening walls becomes so much more difficult. Yeah, and Kaid makes it that much harder, right? So, not going to risk it. Kaid is gone. Yep, so we'll only have the mute, maybe a bandit for anti-breach. We'll have to see how things go from there. But the first sight is going to be Basement Church Arsenal Room. And that is indeed a Tachanka who's been picked by Mighty Ali.
I mean, I understand that I asked you guys to think outside of the box. But I didn't think you were going to bring out the Lord and Savior of Siege.
I mean, they need a Lord and Savior at this moment. And if Tachanka, if Mighty Ali on the Tachanka is that Lord and Savior, so be it, right?
It fits his
He's a
name
really
as
good
well,
operator
doesn't
as
it?
well. Mighty. Yeah.
I think they're going to get away with this.
They could. They could. They do have a Mira as well and an Azami, so Sight is going to be a fortress, literally. So Hunters have their work cut out for them on this attack right now. They are attack first. It is their map pick, so Shaheens were the ones who have picked defense here. Is Beat running an Amaru?
He likes the Amaru. Can you blame the man?
I mean, secondary hard breach, I get it, and the Amaru can get up very quickly to find these roamers. There is one on second floor, aka Skywalker. Wait, there's 2 actually. No, is that 2? Yes, there is 2.
I don't think they're going to expect him. They expect him.
Wait, that's a prone peak. That's a prone peak. They expect him here. Oh, Caesar's going to get that. Oh, dear me. Beat. Bit too overeager. Gets taken down first.
Jeffrey's going to be able to get the equalization, though. Caesar gets taken out. But I'm pretty sure they're expecting 2. They have to expect 2, right? There's one more player on the top side. If they don't clear him, that's going to be a very bad one. Skywalker. It's all up to you, buddy. Still running around, trying to maybe get themselves out. Yep, he's back in towards the side. They're going to try to hunker down now. All the roams have been cleared. And Hunters, they have 2 minutes to work their way in towards the side where all the roams have been completely cleared out.
And in very good time, too. Verticality will be taken care of course. Rattler has brought the breach charges with the ace for this exact reason. Sparkle on the Habana as well. They're taking care of everything as they come across it. Problems will be minimized. Sparkle's got those flashbangs. You've got the grenades on Sandy as well. Jittery has expended his claymores in this meantime. But they still need to find these players. That mirror window is going to be doing a lot of work right now. And Sandy's finding one, but Jittery goes down in the meanwhile. Oh, dear me. Skywalker with a double, I think. Rattler's dropped down. Wait, is this a wise decision? He's already in the site. Does anyone actually know this? No, he's in here. He's gone into church. Where's the mirror going? Okay, Doctor goes down. There goes the Jaeger. It's a 1v2. It's going to be a post-plant. Mighty Ellie's the last one standing. The sudden rotation and the drop down into church. And the Tachanka taking damage, but no, still alive. Could still get him, but no. Rattler shuts him down through the chairs. It was messy. It was close. Very nearly, the Tachanka ended up fulfilling the prophecy that we set out earlier. But just what a way to catch Shaheens off guard. Are you kidding me? One of them just dropped down main hatch, 3v4. And Rattler's idea is, you know what? I'm going in. Wins the round.
I have no idea what just happened. Seems like an army of disconnects as they're returning back in towards the game. I'm pretty sure that everyone just needed a restart. Probably. But
what even happened in that round? Oh boy.
It's fine. I'm pretty sure that everyone just got completely shell-shocked after what happened in the last round.
Yeah.
It just went from a 0 to 100 in just like a couple of seconds. But for the Shaheens, that was a pretty good fight. I'll have to say. All of them really did put up a pretty good show. The Shaheens, they got the trades that they wanted. They got the roams that they were hoping for. They got the first initial peek onto Bit. But was it enough? They kind of stayed in the same positions that they were holding. Jittery and Sandy. Yeah, Jittery and Sandy just came and just cleaned up house. They got the roam clear in 2 minutes. Sorry, not 2 minutes. 30 seconds. A 30-second roam clear.
That is...
That's just Hunters doing Hunters things. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, sure, losing Beat probably did still set them back, right? Realistically speaking.
True.
But the way they still managed, right? And Jittery getting that kill on second floor, getting rid of at least one of those roamers, forcing Skywalker back to site. A very good thing in the grand scheme of things. The push through blue, where both players were taken down by Skywalker, right? That, I believe, was also a bit unexpected. They probably did not expect to lose those gunfights to the Jaeger there, mirror window or not. But, I mean, they made up for it, clearly, right? So, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, as we're, of course, waiting for the pause from the Hunter side to be taken care of. Network difficulties, once again. Hunters seem to be having a fair few of those tonight, but hopefully not too many from here on out. Of course, we did have a bit of a pause right after the ban phase of map 1 as well. So, yeah. Also, quick thing. This was, I think, only the second plant in the 2 maps we've had so far. We had one plant in the very first map, round 6. Yeah, round 6 in the first half. We had the plant from the side of Shaheens. Now we have a plant from the side of the Hunters. So they're even in that front as well. So it's really going to come down to how these two teams respond from here. Hunters would definitely like to beef up their mid-round a little bit, because that's where they kind of struggled, the mid-round overall. Because playing the Amaru, I mean, you're playing the Amaru, you kind of expect to die frame 1 on entry, right? So it is what it is. But the mid-round for Hunters could be a bit better. That first round left a bit to be desired from their end. As we go back into the match right here, right now, folks, like we said, not going to take too long on this.
Oh,
the phone.
It's happening.
Hold the phone. Is that an honest-to-God Grim I'm seeing? He's going to switch. I bet you he's going to switch. Wait. What is the site? Hold on. Bar and stage?
Wait a minute. What?
Shaheens picking bar and stage And then, okay, yeah, there we go. Beat's gonna switch on. Like we said, that's just to get us excited. We get it, Beat. We get it. Don't worry. But
Who
Bar
picks
and
this?
Stage
I
with a Mira?
forgot. No.
Wait, is there a Mira?
Listen.
No, there is no Mira. But they've got Neko.
Jack,
But Bar and
I
Stage-
have never seen this side being played up till now, even in my ranked games. And I played this game
I know, right?
for almost 4 years.
Dude, I'm going on nearly 6 years on this game, and Bar and Stage, if you're not playing like secure area casual, you're not gonna see the site. Like, what?
I forgot
This is
it
throwing
even
me for a loop.
existed.
I know, right?
I actually
We
forgot this
never see it in
exists.
ranked. We never see it in ranked, and competitive teams barely play this map, this site as well. I want to see what they've got here. Shaheens are the ones to have picked this, so it's clearly for a good reason. Jittery with the Nook this time, going in down
banking.
below. Of course, no silencer. Could be they're banking on, maybe it's an off pick, right? So maybe they're banking on this
Yeah.
taking the Hunters off guard. Rattler's watching the lounge stairs right now, or metal stairs as they were. There isn't a zombie on top of that.
How do you even
There's
approach
players
this
on
side?
second floor, plenty of them. And there's one on basement as well with the castle barricade. So there's a big extension happening right now from the side of Shaheens. The question is, how far is
They're
it going to
playing this like Oregon.
Come up?
Taking point.
Kind of, yeah.
They're playing this like Oregon's Oregon meeting. It does look like it, doesn't it? It feels as though they're playing Oregon
Kind of
meeting.
does. Oh, entry. Site has been breached. They're in here. Rattler gets the first one. That's a big one. Jittery's inside as well. Rattler's going for the plant. Are the defenders even aware? Oh, they are! Oh, that
wait
is
a minute.
indeed! That's such a kill! Envy! Oh my! That's that second floor presence that's come back to bite the Hunters just a little bit. Jerry's got to be careful on this door right now. There's one on the mid stairs as well. Minute 20 on the clock. They got to get the diffuser back. And shots are about to be fired. There's Jerry with another. He cannot plant in the same spot, of course. He'll be found otherwise. But he can't get too exposed to the hatch as well. He's going to do exactly that. He wins that gunfight. All right. Where is he going to go for the plant? Mighty Ellie's looking for him, of course, being the Nook. Plant's off right now. Ping is up. And, of course, Echo Drone has given away his possession. Sandy should take care of it. 55 seconds. But no, the Echo's still there. Echo is alive. And if those drones stay alive for too much longer, things can get very, very dicey. 4v2 or not. Skywalker still alive on the second floor. Mighty Ellie's coming in for the flank of blue stairs. Jittery going for the plant once again. But he's been shot down. Skywalker's above. They haven't cleared him. This is a big, big issue. Pings are going off. The Echo drones are giving away so much information. Beat goes down as well.
good.
And Sandy
No
can't
way.
get the roamer. Oh, dear me. This could not have gotten any worse for the Hunters right now.
Blocked off
It's
the
all
ball.
down to
Oh, you blocked off
Sparko.
the diffuser.
Yep, he
Okay,
has
that's
indeed.
fine.
He's seen the Azami, but there's the Echo as well. Position's given away. 10 seconds. He's going to go for the plant. Position is revealed. Shots are fired, and there we go. Skywalker shuts him down. All right. This actually did end up taking the Hunters off guard, I feel like. And what a pick from the Shaheens. That second floor extension, definitely deadly. Hunters did not expect that. They breached the site. They got in. Probably underestimating things a little bit, and definitely did not watch for the Echo. I feel like an IQ would have been better, all things considered. Of course, hindsight is 2020. We're going to be going into second floor gym bedroom now, as it is 1-1 Shaheens. Once again, a very clear difference from map 1. They have equalized in the early first half.
I mean, the adaptations that they were hoping to go for really just did come outside of the box. They started thinking outside of the box and they took down the Hunters. Okay. I guess it's happening. That was extremely smart, I have to say. The Shaheens, they were playing that entire side. Remember what I was saying? They were playing as if it was Oregon meeting. And that's smart. That's incredibly smart. They had 2 players set up on the top side. They had 1 player on the bottom who could easily go in for roams and, of course, come in at the very end of the round if he needs to. And that being the Echo as well. The Echo is giving so much support while still being inside of the basement that why would you need him in towards the side? You don't need him there. Normally, Echo is a really good anchor, correct? But that anchor can also just come in from a completely different standpoint. That's what's the strength of Bar. Bar has so many different entrances that you can use to get yourself in towards the site again, that you don't have to worry about playing inside of the site at all. And that's how the Shaheens played that particular sight line.
Yep.
But for Hunters, now they're back on home turf. Normal sites, normal positions. How are you going to take this, though? That's what we're soon going to find out.
All right. You do have the bandit batteries that are doing a lot of work right about now. Pings are going to be out as well, but of course the bandit tricking going on. Mighty Ellie unfazed as Jittery takes a bit of damage, gets one, but Skywalker was there for cover, finding Jittery in return. That's a big trade as well. The Iana can be very deadly indeed, but Envy has gone down. So that Pete and Roni, or DMR, whichever one Envy was playing, will no longer be in play. Skywalker has to be careful. There's the ace just sitting at the breach, waiting for somebody on that long angle to pop up. If it's Skywalker's head, he's going to go down.
Nice
Never mind,
shot.
he finds the head anyway. Beautifully done indeed. Breach has been taken care of on the other side as Rattle finds one. Trading this time, not trading, being traded by Caesar very, very quickly. But once again, it's a 2v3. Hunters have the body advantage. 1v3 now as Sparko finds Caesar. Doctor, the last one standing, is going to get Sparko running in the hallway. Little bit helter-skelter there. Inside a logistics position given away. But is anybody going to be pushing him from any other side? Or are they going to go for the plant on the longer...
Why are you peeking him?
He could actually do this. Wait, Beat did not aggress logistics. Beat did not aggress logistics. This could be a bad decision here. They've dropped Diffuser as well. Now Doctor is out in the hallway. He's got this angle covered. Suppressor on the 9x19. Pings out. Wrong side of the door. He'll peek the right side. Gets Doctor. Beat. The pressure had to be immense right there. Doctor nearly pulling off the 1v3. Hunters, again, execution a little bit sloppy right about now. As this one player in logistics pretty much nearly shut them all down. They could have gone straight to Jim for the plant. Sandy and Sparker probably should have done that. Beat was in construction, had this area covered. Probably could have overseen the hallway as well. But nonetheless, they get the round. And of course, now it is round 4. 2-1 Hunters going into the fourth round. With the side going back to Basement Church.
It's just time for the free rounds at this point. Hunters, they had it under control. They had it under wraps. Maybe a bit too aggressive right at the very end. They were getting a bit too confident for their own good. But for the Shaheens, I'm very surprised and also happy for them because the team's actually starting to show exactly why they're considered to be in the top 3. They have adapted, they're changing up their strategies, and they are playing in proper fashion. This is the Hunters map pick, mind you. And the Shaheens, they came in prepared for a lot of these strategies that the Hunters have set up. But then again, these strats are not going to get that easy moving on down the line because a lot of people say that Clubhouse is quite balanced, but in my eyes, Clubhouse can be an absolute nuisance when you're on the attack. You have no idea how difficult it is to break into a site if the opponents have a proper hold on it. And the Shaheens, yeah, they have a strong hold on each and every side because of how far their roams are going and how good their extensions have been.
That is, of course, the number one thing that Hunters have to watch out for right now. Jittery, I don't know about this angle. The player here is crouched. He's going to get Caesar anyway. Peeks first, and he gets 2.
I mean,
Jittery, hold on.
Who cares about money, right?
All right.
Who cares about money?
I mean, not even that. Who cares about the props? This goes in, gets a couple, walks away. Sandy, in the meanwhile, setting up for blue entry right about now. The Mira has extended. The Azami barrier will be seen. Mira's position given away. He doesn't know exactly that the Azami is playing behind that Kiba, but Jittery will now have given away that position as well. Grenade goes out. That's going to take care of utility on the blue stairs. Mighty Ali waiting patiently in dirt still. His Doctor wants to be aggressive, but goes down. Jittery's on a triple right now. He's on a tear. He wants more. Is he going to get it? Not quite. The Mira manages to get away in time. He peeks with a pistol. Gets it nonetheless. It's a quad kill. He's on for the ace. Can he find Mighty Ellie in time? Shots are about to be fired. And Sandy goes down. So does Jittery. They didn't know where he was. Mighty Ellie got a big couple there. And he could potentially walk away. No. Beat from above with the verticality shuts him down. All right. looks like Jittery was activated in this round. Yeah, going up to 8-4 now from 4-3 that he was at the start of the round. Just if you want someone to tear through your defense, yeah, it's Jittery, just about right. I mean, if you don't, but there's also Sandy that you have to worry about. Sandy's been pretty quiet, I feel like, in this round, in this map so far. But
He's doing what he needs to do.
exactly, Jittery is the one you got to worry about this time.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the main reasons why Hunters have so much success. There's not only one superstar on the team, you have two. There's Jerry,
Yep.
and there's Sandy, and then you have such a beautiful anchor known as Rattler. These three players carry most of the weight, and if they die, yeah, Beat and Spark are to pick up the pieces and just get the round into the notion that they wanted to. But on the other side, you have the Shaheens. They have superstars in their own right, being Skywalker, Doctor, Envy, who can easily get a lot of frags. But the thing is, they're not even being given an opportunity to showcase their true colors because they're getting shut down so early on in the round that even if they get one kill, the trades come in and they get shut down quickly. The Shaheens, they can't really get into the comfortable positions that they want to be in. Because of it, they are suffering drastically.
For now, let's see if second floor CCTV does work out for them. Doctor's back on the dock. Interesting decision making right there. And of course, they have the bandit to get rid of any breach tools on any of the walls. But Mighty Ellie is actually all the way out towards bedroom. That's interesting. Skywalker's here for support as well. As drones were spotted, have been cleaned up. Sandy watching that construction window like a hawk. And he could catch someone very, very easily here should one of those two decide to fall back. Grenade's going to go off in the meanwhile. Shots fired. Beat finds the first. That's Skywalker. And that is, of course, a pain gone. There goes Doctor. The dock is now off the board. Another player is being chased into the bathrooms, and Sandy will shut him down. That is Mighty Ellie gone. There goes Envy. What is this cleanup right now? Caesar manages to find the first, gets the second, because side entry is a little botched, admittedly. They haven't cleared garage, but it doesn't matter. Rattler comes in, finishes him off, and
fastest rounds of Siege.
Can we say, shoot to thrill? Hunters. That is just... You know, Clubhouse defender-sided is a notion I agree with, right? Like, I've said it before myself. It's not the same kind of defender-sided as Villa is. Definitely nowhere close to Theme Park. But defenders have that slight advantage here, at the very least. Hunters are on attack, and they're 4-1 up.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Hakuna Matata?
I was not expecting that.
I mean, what else
But,
can you say in this situation for the Shaheens? That's one of the
boy.
phrases that I always pull up whenever a team gets bodied to this extent. Because that last round, the Shaheens didn't even get an opportunity to set anything up. The guys were just running around, hoping for the best, maybe being like, hey, we can get a spawn peek. They're going to slow things down slightly here and there. But 2 seconds later, everything just breaks.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
What do you
It
say in
is.
that scenario?
Not much. The Hunters, I mean, clearly there's a little bit of unsaid bitterness about the 0-3 they took. Rattler, that's a nice drone to have as well. Position given away on the Jaeger. Of course, that means that Jaeger is known. Sandy can't quite get the shots off. Skywalker will stay alive for a little bit longer. Jittery's got to be careful. Garage is probably being watched right now. And of course, these cams, these drones that Hunters have, that is exactly what Shaheens need to be afraid of right now. Sparko, gotta be careful of the bandit who's here doing the anti-breach tricking that, of course, the bandit is known for. Positions are once again being given away. Skywalker and Envy, they are known on that CCTV cache side. But how long will the Hunters take? Well, quite a while, apparently. Here's going to be a grenade. One coming in as Rattler takes damage. Okay, he just walks up. Skywalker going down. Pistol out. But Envy's going to take that. You can't win a fight against a pistol not like that. There is, of course, in... Oh, okay. Envy
Wait, how did he
is
get
going to be caught running around. Jittery came up. There was a rotate on red stairs as well. That's what he used, I feel like. And there goes Caesar. Sandy gets another. This is... Hunters are just about winning everything. It's a 2v4, but we've seen this before. They've had big advantages on Gym Bedroom. But until they remove this Azami, things are not set in stone yet, and Mighty Ali is here to help as well. 2v3.
Could just be the notion that they needed as well. One more round, and they're going to be sitting golden for the second half, especially on their own attack side. But things are not looking up for them as much because, again, the Hunters, they have a lot of information to play around with, but for the Shaheens, they don't really have much. They have no idea of where the attackers are going to be coming in from, and they have ample amounts of drones to play around with. 8 drones available. 8. Sparko still has both of his. That's a lot of info all across the map. And oh, you know for a fact that these drones are going to be pests running around all across. They've cleared out logistics. And now the logistics hold is just not going to be lasting for any longer.
Realistically speaking, it shouldn't. Flashbang is out. There goes another. Sparko wants to enter. You have to be careful. Beat finds Doctor. There you go. That's the push they needed. And the flashbangs from Sparko doing everything it can. Like, yeah, the drones and everything. Yeah. It really was just something else. This time, picking apart this second floor gym hold down to its very last possible extension, very last possible play, whatever you want to say. Hunters are 5-1 up. This is their map pick, so in a way it's expected. But after the 7-1 thrashing they gave the Shaheens on Oregon, which was their map pick, Shaheens', Hunters are now 5-1 up. That was on the attack half of Clubhouse. Now they're on the defense half. They've gone down to Basement Church, and they've already changed things up quite a bit. Rattlers picked the Mute. Sandy's picked the Oryx, an operator that I just did not expect here, but I think Hunters have actually played Oryx quite a bit on this map, now that I think about it. So it shouldn't be too surprising. The Goya from Sparko and beat with the Echo as well. Okay, I think I know what they're doing here. They're setting up for offsite play. That offsite play that I was talking about on Oregon, right? That Hunters love to do. 4 players probably are going to be up in second floor. Like 3 in second floor, 1 in first floor. Maybe a couple spawn peaks. Jittery's definitely setting up for one right now. He's going to get it though. Shots should be fired. But no, he's not going to get that. He's going to back off in the meanwhile. But yeah, look at this. So many players above. And the drones of Shaheens should catch this. And if they're able to realize what's going on, Jittery, how is he still alive here? No way. There's no way that Zofia did not see him. Caesar, probably a golden opportunity missed. But that doesn't matter right now. What I was saying was right, that the drones of Shaheens should catch this. And if they play their cards correctly...
Are you serious?
You know what? I'm going to throw every strat I have out of my head right now. Caesar finds Jittery. There goes the first one. Sandy is now on high alert.
Wait,
on second floor.
the Zofia threw a concussive? No way. The Zofia threw the concussive shock as soon as he heard the sound coming in. That the soft wall broke because of the Oryx dash. And then immediately he threw the mine.
Well, in the meanwhile, it seems Sight is going to be beefed up a little bit more. Sandy's still up here. Nobody's cleared him. And the final bits of reinforcements are being put in place. Sight is pretty much secured. Sparko's come back with a canister or 2 as well. Is Sandy the only one on second floor now? Yes, he really seems like he is. And at minute 15 is when Doctor is going to be going for vertical and hatches are going to be opened. I mean, the hatch is already open. You get that done quickly. Caesar's up here, but does he know? I don't think he does. Sandy is just waiting. Such patience right now. And he can make a big play out of this. Oh, no. Excuse me?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Aggressive, did I just see that?
I mean, he nearly got away with 2 kills if Skywalker didn't have the reflexes. He's a young gun with a good amount of reflexes, but goddamn Rattler. He's going to be able to survive for just a second longer using the Goyo canister to his advantage, immediately opting to go out with a push from the Goyo canister, mind you. The canister exploded, he pushed into the canister, got the kill, and then ran out. That's just Rattler for you, man. Aggression is his middle name. But for the side of the Hunters, they're looking to get this down to a 1-6 pretty quickly. Sparko got the position. He's got to be able to get the hold. Taking down one more, and one by one, they're just going to drop their bodies. And Doctor, he has no idea where to look. Look to the left, look to the right. He still has Raptor to worry about on each side. 3 kills all around, and goddamn, Sandy, balls of steel on this guy. He loves to play it as aggressively as he possibly can.
That Oryx was just straight up nerves of titanium. What even was that? Who in there? So here's the thing, right? Caesar the Zofia was still above, right? We saw him. We saw like that Zofia in the corner of logistics, droning away. Realistically speaking, the Oryx, if I don't know if Beat actually did peak the Oryx player, did peak the puncho left by the Aruni Jittery, who was up there, right? If he did, he probably still didn't see Caesar. Decided to jump down the open wall, like run out the open wall, jump down the rafters outside the building, found one droning, and very nearly got 2, that second one being the ace. These are the kinds of plays that Hunters make rarely. All right. And mind you, amidst all of that, amidst our sheer amazement here at the caster's desk, it's series point. Hunters are 6-1 up again. And Shaheens, I mean, like we said in map 1, if there were any hidden strategies, any last-minute improvisations, anything you have in the bank, there is no better time than now to bring these out.
I mean, the only adaptive play that we've seen from them in the last couple of rounds was where they took a bar as their side. But for the attacking strategies, they're not really doing anything out of the ordinary again. They're playing good old Siege. The strategies that have been set in stone for years now. That's exactly what they're using. But in the game of Siege, when you go in for the same strats over and over again, and when you're doing the exact same thing against a team of Hunters calibers, they're going to bring in their own style. They're going to bring in a strategy that is completely unorthodox, and they're going to take you down a couple of notches because of that set strat. And the attack is not supposed to be this telegraphed. And I'm really hoping that's not what's going to happen to them right here and now. The Shaheens, this is their do or die. They have something to prove, and they need to do it right here and right now.
Wait, Sandy? Sandy's all the way at container, the tail end of dirt.
If he dashes out,
he'll be seen, but he could get a kill. Oh, I think the Thermite spotted that actually. Yep, he has. Sandy still what? Caesar gets jittery.
I knew
gets
it.
traded by Beat.
I knew it.
I am at a loss for words. He got that kill onto Skywalker. Mighty Ali finds Beat, but Sparkle gets Doctor in the meanwhile. Diffuser is still dropped inside of the building. Ali's probably... It's actually dropped outside, I think. Shots are fired. Sparkle is DBNO, so it could be a 2v2 now. Sandy's come around. Is going to find the sledge, only barely. INV now, the last one standing. Basically just covering where the downed operator could be. Get Sparko, that's confirmation. Frostmat is cleaned up. Shots are fired. INV could actually make this happen. Rattler just needs to stay away from getting killed, but there's 40 seconds that he has to stay alive for. Oh, the grenade didn't go through. That was huge, and Rattler gets the kill. GG's in the chat, and folks, it's a double 7-1. Let's just say Hunters came in, rocked Shaheens like a hurricane, and now they've walked away, leaving them thunderstruck. They are very much undisputed winners of this game. 7-1, 7-1. I got nothing to say. I got nothing. I got
Yeah,
nothing.
there's not really much you can say here. 7-1, we broke everything down for you. Same problems carry forward from the first map over onto the second. A little bit too predictable in the way that they were holding down their sights, and of course, the Hunters just read them like an open book. That's what just happened here. There's not really much that you can say. They played it predictably, and Siege is one of those games you play too predictable. You're relying on your gunfights at all moments to get you out of those sticky situations. It's just not going to work. We're going to be jumping on down over towards the match highlights, so you're going to be able to witness it all unfold in front of your eyes once again. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, you can't really say much more than that. Things became a bit too unpredictable, and for the Shaheens at the very start of the game, they actually were looking good. I had high hopes for us to get taken over to the third map because of how they started and because of how they played the second round with the sight on Jabbar. I loved all of that, but where was that level of innovation for the rest of the game?
Oh boy. Innovation aside, Shaheen's just see, here's the thing, right? Changing up whatever your playstyle is, like going into unfamiliar territory in Siege is always very difficult, right? Just look at anyone who's trying to learn a new map. Like anyone at the beginning of the game, as they're learning these maps, they, like you said, they get used to Oregon, they get used to Clubhouse, they maybe get used to Villa, then they move on to Theme Park, then they move on to Skyscraper. Slowly but surely they learn these maps. But while they're still halfway decent at Oregon, Clubhouse, maybe Villa, then once they're learning Skyscraper and Theme Park, they're not going to start out all that well there. Now, take that whole learning things in Siege being kind of difficult, kind of hard to accomplish, and transplant that onto place like full play styles, strategic decision making, all of that we see from the Shaheens, right? A team like them who is, like we said before, they are steeped in the fundamentals of Siege. If there's one problem that they have had before, it's being repetitive. And you put a team like the Hunters as they were playing tonight, right? Not how we've seen them before, as Hunters were tonight. You put that onto against the Shaheens, and then you put them in a situation where Shaheens are forced to learn a completely new, or at least a varied playstyle every single round. That is enormously tough. On top of that, Hunters today were clearly confident. They were winning gunfights. It is just like you take all that. You take the fact that Hunters are changing their plays, changing their operators, changing their sites all the time, almost like they're doing things at random, but it's not random, right? Anyone who's watching from the outside can tell that Hunters have this all preordained. And in some rounds, it was almost like they were going through the motions, because the initial part that they were afraid of not working worked out so well that they had nothing to be afraid of anymore. And Shaheens, unfortunately, their one issue of being predictable was put on full display here today. 7-1, 7-1 on Oregon and Clubhouse. Folks, me and Aggressive, right, before the game started, we were talking about, what the match is and what we've seen before from these two teams and all that stuff, right? And Baba was actually there with us, right? He was like chilling in the VC, and we were with him. And all three of us agreed on one thing at the very least, that whoever wins or doesn't, it was going to go to map 3, and there was going to be an overtime involved, somewhere or the other. Now, take that and contrast it to the result of the match, I should say.
The blackjack curse, I'm just gonna say that.
Dude, all three of us jinxed it today, okay? You cannot pin this on me.
No. Whenever we make an analysis, it's completely fine. It works. We're maybe wrong by like 2 or 3 rounds. Whenever you make an analysis and you agree with us, it just completely swerves in the other direction.
Okay. I see how it is. But jokes aside, jokes aside, match summary and
100% cost on Rattler. Ouch! He nearly matched Sandy in the last game.
11-3, 201 entry, and nearly 2+ rating. Rattler, by and far the MVP for this map. Sandy, in the meanwhile, 7-8, 75%, 1-0 entry, still 1+, or at least one, exactly one on survival rating, meaning Sandy was surviving a lot of these rounds, right? And of course, unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the Shaheens. As 7-7 Skywalker at the top there, 63% cost, 0-3 on entry. Caesar's the best entry for the Shaheens, 2-1, going 6-8, 75%, and 0.91 on the survivability ratings. Overall, the scorecards between the two teams to tell two very different stories. Beat in Sparko just doing support, 88% cost for both, 88%. And they still had higher survivability ratings than Sandy, who is placed bottom in that table because of that rating, because of the cost percentage, not because of kills. Sandy was still chipping in. Jittery as well, 9-6, 88%. Rattler, 11-3 as well. So that's your match summary, folks, and there's your match done. It's not even 10 p.m. IST yet. It's just hitting 9:46 as you go into the player spotlight. Excuse me. Rattler is the player spotlight. Yes, thank you. I did mess that up. Thank you. But
Yes.
Rattler being our player spotlight for the night, 17-6 overall. Ace and Smoke coming in as well.
Our producer is having a little bit of a laugh.
Our producer's having
Assassin 47, player 47. Oh, that would have been perfect. Come on. And listen. I have to say that the player spotlight can easily be changed to player 47 because our bright producer, absolutely the best that you can ever have on the market. And just like the best player, the player spotlight, it's gonna be Rattler, Ace, and Smoke. This guy was just performing. Like, come on. He's the support. He's the goddamn support. And he's putting up numbers like this. That should show you that even as a support player, if you have the proper mindset, the skill set, and the understanding to support your team, doesn't matter if you get kills, doesn't matter if you are not able to put anything on the board in terms of that. If you have a high cost percentage, able to utilize your utility properly, you're just going to get kills. You're going to get rounds just purely off of that. But for Rattler, he's doing both. He's getting kills and he's supporting the team. Now that is a skill set that not every support can ever have.
Just fantastic stuff, really, from Rattler. But just because he's in the player spotlight should not distract from the fact that all of the Hunters performed exceptionally today. Again, their opponent, scores may say 7-1, 7-1, 2-0, right? But their opponent was Shaheens. That, in and of itself, should be enough context in the overall grand scheme of this tournament to say that Hunters, they were up against an opponent, a very, very good opponent today. But of course, they were just pretty much unstoppable. Only 2 rounds in 2 maps for Shaheens. They are going to be livid with how tonight has gone. And of course, all things considered, I can't really blame them for it either. Really just being taken to the curb as we go into the stats of the overall, all the 5 players that played today for Hunters LFO. And of course, if you're looking for kills, look no further than Sandy. 23 and 13, slightly slower on map number 2, but it almost didn't even matter. 81% on cost, and of course, a very high rating of 1.52. I think overall, the one who was pretty much the most like support heavy tonight was Beat, going 7 and 10, but a 68%, 68.75%. You can basically say 69% cost right there as well. So nice stuff from Beat, and just great stuff from the entire team overall. Like, I gotta say, the Hunters were out to impress, and they've got me impressed. I gotta admit.
Yep. Today's match is just Hunters back in form. I wanted to say they were back in form. It feels like we were looking at a brand new Hunter. It really did, because this is not what the Hunters that we expected. This is something completely new. And because of it, I do believe that a lot of teams, they have something different to reach out to. there's a new peak that they have to see at the end of the day. But the way that the Nationals are going, unless a team is able to reach this point, the Hunters, from this match alone, just prove to us that a team can evolve in just like 2 or 3 weeks. And the Hunters have reached a completely new level.
I gotta agree with you there. They have reached a whole league of their own. 7-1, 7-1. Oregon and Clubhouse have been taken care of. And the match it's basically ended before it could really get off the ground. I think we can all agree on that. Kind of uneventful, all things considered, because it was the Hunters doing pretty much everything they wanted to in these two maps. And next to nothing as a response from the Shaheens. Let's have a look at the group standings now as a result of this game that we have just had. And there you go, folks. Hunters now at the very tippy top of the table. 5 wins in 5 matches, 10 points. Not a single map has been dropped from them. Shaheens now with their first loss on record. I do not envy whichever team is going to be fighting the Shaheens next because they will be feeling the full force of their fury. KIRA Esports also on 10, 6 matches, 4 wins. Of course, they've had the losses that they've had were 1 and 2, so they have 2 points from 2 matches there. So they're still on 10. MercenarieZ rounding out the top 4 with 9 points. Won't stop peaking, unfortunately. Even if they win their next match, they'll only get to 8, which is 1 point less than MercenarieZ. And of course, UWU, Phalanx, and MLT can't really pull out anything spectacular either. In fact, UWU's run in the tournament is done and dusted. 4 points in 7 games, only really pulling up in the final 2 matches that they had to play. Phalanx, MLT won't stop peaking. Pretty much everybody else has 1 match left. It's only the Hunters who have 2 remaining. So we'll be seeing them tomorrow and day after. Back-to-back days, back-to-back games, right there. Shaheens, KIRA, MercenarieZ. I mean, if Hunters keep going like this, then Shaheens, KIRA, and MercenarieZ, they're just going to be fighting for second place at this point, I feel like. And of course, that's never going to feel too good. So that top 4 is going to be charged with energy, I'll tell you what, folks.
Let's just say it like this. The Shaheens, they've been in this position before, right? Tell me honestly, they had been in this position before where they've lost out against the Hunters in the fall edition of the Pro Series. They did lose, mind you, and now they came back in the finals, took down the Hunters, and they didn't even break a sweat. 3-0 against the Hunters in a best of 5. They did that when they came on back after losing to the Hunters. It could happen again. I'm pretty sure the Shaheens, they have learned their lesson that, okay, we're playing Siege in a much more traditional manner. It's not going to work against the Hunters because now it's no longer about the fundamentals. It's about building upon the fundamentals and making a completely different strategy that's going to give us the victory. And Shaheens, they've lost out on this game. That's completely fine. But does that mean they can't come on back stronger? Of course not, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, we're talking about the top 3 teams. Shaheens, they're pretty much guaranteed in the second position of the top 3 teams. It's now what? Hunters, MercenarieZ, Shaheens. These are the top 3 that we always know to be there. Shaheens are going up and down from, they were at the number 1, but the new Hunters that we see right now, they are going to take that away. Now, going up against MercenarieZ, they still took them down 2-0. So they're in the second position. This is the team that are able to adapt. They're able to learn. They're able to evolve. But is it going to be enough down the line, though? That's what we're going to be finding out soon enough, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you all for stopping by and spending time with us. It was a little bit of a short stream, kind of unexpected with Hunters versus the Shaheens, but that's completely fine and dandy because, again, even if the stream is short, the action just ramps up all the time here at the Esports Club. So make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and also hit that notification bell down below if you don't want to miss out on any of that action. And as you're going to be dabbling with those buttons, make sure to check out all the links down below in the description as well to get Rainbow-Six-Siege at a pretty good discount, of course. And at the side, if you want to play the game properly, you got to get yourself that Zotac graphics card. All the links down below in the description. Check it all out because that's going to be enough from your boy Aggressive and also Blackjack on my side. And we're going to be seeing you tomorrow with a lot more action for the SA Nationals. Good night and happy gaming, everyone.
Okay, back out fresh on the scene, 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 back out fresh on the scene,
Back out fresh on the scene.
back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team, franchise best on the team, franchise best on the team, franchise best on the team,
Franchise best on the team.
back out fresh on the scene,
Back out fresh on the scene.
back out fresh on the scene. Back out fresh on the scene. Back out fresh on the scene. Back out fresh on the scene. Back out fresh on the scene. Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Franchise best on the team. Franchise best on the team. Franchise best on the team.
Franchise best on the team.
Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene. fresh on the scene. Back out 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 fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene. Franchise best on the team. Franchise best on the team. Franchise best on the team. Franchise best on the team.
Franchise best on the team.
Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene.
Back out fresh on the scene.